Today we're going to be asking the cards what has been going on with Barry Morphew. How he's been feeling and thinking since this all went down. And I think especially we should try to figure out his anger level, because it seems like if he does have a problem with it, that it would be really high right now. Okay, so let's ask the cards to tell us about Barry and why he did this and what is he going to do now. So this pile is going to be about how he feels now and about himself and about his life, and this is going to be about how he feels about Suzanne. We see the Ace of Wands. He's wanted to, he has a new idea for his life. He's wanted to embark on the journey quite a while now, and he's looking forward to moving on. He's really hoping this is going to happen for him. This is showing how he feels that his family has failed him, that they haven't been as good as he wanted in his life. Here we see the Wheel of Fortune. He's scared about what's going to happen to him. He knows that he has no control over it at this point, and he's just waiting to see where the marker falls. And on the other hand, he's afraid of the justice that's going to come from him killing Suzanne. But he also is afraid because he feels like she stood for justice and he doesn't, and so she's going to get her revenge one way or the other, because he did wrong. Okay. This is talking about the son. He's thinking also of the good times they used to have, and all the things that he built that are now gone. He wanted to hoard his money, and he's afraid of the judgment of others and the law. But we want to know about his anger. Come on, cards. Well, he's become the magician to throw people off the scent in his life and now, He really does have a lot of regret, but he's so insular that he can't see what others are doing around him, and he doesn't seem to care. What's funny about Barry is that he didn't start out as a totally bad man. Instead of the Knight of Cups, he's turned into the Knight of Swords, and has turned into a backstabber. But he also feels like Suzanne turned into a backstabber because she didn't let him in on her charity money. She didn't tell him that she was going to leave. She didn't give him everything he wanted, in other words. Okay. Suzanne was a fool in love for him, and he always kept his emotions balanced for her because he was in control of his emotions all of his life. He definitely excels at that. And I don't know if you learned that from his family or not, but you can see that from the time he became a sports star until now, he definitely has stayed the same on his face, the same expressions on his face from when he was in high school until now. There's no difference. And it's because he learned to mask his emotions for whatever reason. I guess he saw that it would benefit him. He did love her and saw how loving she was. But now she's gone on into a different place. He's left behind. He never was the King of Cups, but he made her believe that. It made him proud for a while, for a long time. He's angry when he found out about her saving money. He's thinking about that over and over and over again. She was starting a new business, a new beginning, and he had really invested in them as a couple. And she had too. And they used to be inseparable. He does have a lot of regret, actually. They grew up together. They learned together and they celebrated together, and now that's not going to happen anymore. He wanted to be the emperor, but to Suzanne, he became the devil. Now everything's fallen down, especially with her, and the completion of his life on the outside, maybe now, is what he's thinking. He's trying to decide how to deal with prison. He's a really strong man and knows that he's always been able to handle whatever happened. But because this is the biggest bad thing he's ever done in his life, he very much is scared. He doesn't know what will happen, obviously. Wheel of Fortune and all. He wanted to steal what she had because she finally got of her own. He didn't like that at all. And now she has hope to be in heaven, and she's like innocent and pure. And he remembers what they had as the couple, especially at church. His harshness was supposed to take him to the truth, but somehow he saw everything in front of him that he could pick from, all the temptations, and he fell. But we want to know, is he going to jail or not? Yes. The Nine of Swords. See the cage? He's going to jail. And let's ask when. This is saying that the burden of what he's done has been too much, and when the time comes and he tells on himself, because he'll have to, it'll go really fast, but it'll only be after she's found. He needs help from people now, and he feels bad taking money from people because he's always been the one that gives. He kind of realizes that maybe he could go back to being the King of Cups or change his life, especially if he was in jail, because he does have an inner life, an inner spirit life. He knows he needs to tell the truth. Okay, so the cards are being slightly vague. It may be because we're not supposed to know when he's going to jail. It's just saying that yes, he is going and that he'll learn from his experience. But it seems like there's a lot of action and it will happen soon, within the next few weeks. It'll take months, of course, to do the trial and maybe years, but things are precipitating quickly. The cops know what's going on. He'll be grieving a lot. And what she dreamed of is coming true, not his. So the charity that she had, he wanted the money from it, but obviously what's so funny is that other people are going to be so obsessed with giving justice to Suzanne that they're going to be putting everything they have into that charity, and children are going to be benefiting from it. So are her daughters, and he's going to have to let go of all of that and realize his life is different now. He's going to have to bow to the Empress, the one that he thought he was over, because she was more important than him. During this whole time that he's been bad, she was more important than him. She was the one who told the truth. And when he was apathetic, she was the one making money. So he left the partnership a while ago, and he's preparing himself and steeling himself to go to jail. And it will be within the next few weeks. He'll be arrested, in other words. Whatever has happened to him inside is going to be evident on his face, even though he's been able to have a mask for so long. He's about to let go and give in because the pressure's too much, even for a strong man. And he knows that in life, sometimes if you take a gamble, you lose. And he did. He lost his family. He lost his best friend and partner, and he lost his freedom. So we better keep watching and see what happens in the news. See if they give him any kind of bait to tell his story, any kind of deal. We'll see what happens, but his emotions are very high right now, and he's very scared, but all of his good aspects are coming to the surface again. He's letting go of all the bad that he had become, the devil that he had become. He's going back to being the upright person, even though he did have a lot of selfishness. He knows that now he has to change. And that's a really good reading and it's really hopeful for him because it means that he will repent. And most of these guys never repent. Even if they tell, they have no feelings for their spouse, and so they don't they don't feel remorse, but Barry he lost control so many times because of the way that he steeled himself against the world, and he couldn't hold back in private, and unfortunately he failed. He failed this time in a way that everyone would see, not just Suzanne. And he actually is reaching out to God for him to help him. So this has been the TBS reading about Barry, and let's stay tuned to the news and see what happens for him. Have a good night.